You mentioned the quarterback battle. Let's go to the nightcap where number 15 Tennessee and number 24 NC State are playing in Charlotte. This is a 6:30 p.m. game on ESPN. You talk about a fun quarterback battle. This is it. Now, NC State didn't exactly blow the Catamounts off the field the other night when they opened against Western Carolina. Tennessee eviscerated whatever little Chattanooga put on the field as far as a football program. And Nico looked amazing for his first time starting a regular season game. I know he played in the bowl game. I know he beat the Iowa Hawkeyes just last bowl season. But the Tennessee Volunteers might be good at football. And that is really concerning, I think, for college football as a whole. What grabs your attention the most in this football game?
You said it off the top, it's the quarterback matchup because Nico versus Grayson McCall, young gun versus a guy that's been around the block and seen a lot of college football. I love that. I love that quarterback matchup. I love this game. I think it's on the schedule and people saw it in the spring. If they were looking forward to some games, it might have seemed a little weird, but these are two teams that are trying to take the next step in their conference. They're kind of on the same tier within their own conference, SEC and ACC. And I love that they're matching up. It's a great gut check game for both of these programs, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's Nico.
Yeah,
I've caught the Nico fever, man. I took him on my fantasy team this summer.
sure.
Everything that he did on the field last week, he only played one half of football and he put up over 300 yards passing and just dropped some absolute dimes on a hapless Chattanooga defense. So I've caught the Nico fever. I don't know if there's a cure. Maybe it's that 3-3-5 that NC State and Tony Gibson are going to run. That's certainly made a lot of solid quarterbacks look really silly and see a lot of ghosts in its time. But I'm excited to see what he can do on the field against a really good defense.
Yeah, NC State's going to have to get off after Iamaleava if they want to keep him in check. I was watching a film breakdown of what Nico was able to do, and some of those throws that he was making this past weekend, man, again, against the Mocs defense and FCS opponent, but some of the vision and the touch that he displayed, the guys that were breaking down the film were like, this is not normal. I mean, This is truly next level stuff. Plus you throw in the fact that he's like 6'5" and just fluid as water itself. I think we might be looking at the next great talent at the quarterback position in a landscape where, quite honestly, the national storyline has been dominated this week about how little that position group has produced at an elite level, right? I mean, a lot of folks digging up the 2022 quarterback rankings and, tearing 247 apart for the 5 stars and whatnot. Iamaleava looks as good as advertised. Let me spin it around to the other side, though. Grayson McCall, talk to me about what week 1 did for you. Obviously, he found Casey Concepcion late, and I think for 3 touchdowns. I think he was basically all of their offense. What did Grayson show you in week 1? What do you need to see against Tennessee, given the fact that pass rush, man, they're going to be coming with their ears pinned back?
Yeah, he showed a lot of composure, and Western Carolina is not your typical FCS scrub. They've certainly built their program up a lot. Now, they shouldn't have been anywhere close in that game. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
Yeah.
But that second half showed me a lot of Grayson McCall. He really turned it on down the stretch, made some really nice throws to Casey Concepcion, got the offense out of a funk that they were kind of in mid-third quarter and led them back in a comeback victory. They were down 21-17 at the end of the third quarter, but that fourth quarter was really, really good from him leading that. And Jordan Waters was certainly a big part of that as well, with a couple big touchdown runs. So, I mean, he has a ton of experience. I don't think anything necessarily is going to phase him from a pass rush standpoint, but that offensive line has got to give him a little bit more help. They gave up 9 tackles for loss against the Catamounts. It's not a great recipe for success going up against the defensive line that Tennessee is going to bring.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. This is a neutral site game, but it's an NC State home game. So that means they're allowed to bring recruits to this. Apparently, this is a premier recruiting weekend for Dave Dorn and the Pack. A little weird to bring them to a neutral site venue, isn't it?
Yeah, I did not know that was the case, honestly. I'm looking at their schedule now, and I'm trying to figure out if there's another game that recruits might be interested in. There's really not on the schedule. They go to Clemson this year.
Oh, there you go.
Don't play Florida State, don't play Miami. Their next best home game that's actually on campus might be Syracuse. Nope, they play them on the road. Yeah, Syracuse might be their next best home game other than this one. So
Yikes.
I guess that makes sense in this context, but yeah, that's a little frustrating for the recruiting staff.
Different kind of orange there for sure. Well, so when I look at this game, Tennessee's favored by 7.5. Again, I'm looking, especially since it's a neutral site, or you kind of have to throw the home field advantage out the window, right? Tennessee's going to travel well.
Right.
It's going to be a fun environment, but I don't know that you're going to have a home field one way or the other. So I just have to kind of look at both sides of the ball. Who do I believe is better on the offensive side? Who do I believe is going to play more, shut down defense? Who's got the better pass rush? Trey, the answer is Tennessee to me on all of these boxes. And so as high as I am, and I know you are on the Wolfpack, this is one that I thought, if Tennessee shows some rust, the Pack can spring an upset here. That was kind of my thought all off season long. But after what I saw from Tennessee last week, and not the score, but how buttoned up they looked marching down the field, defense, they didn't have any busts. They didn't have any breaks. The pass rush looked lethal. I know it's week one, but boy, it's hard not to think, you know what? I think Josh Heupel's crew is finally ready to really make some noise and make a playoff push. And I think it starts Saturday night in Charlotte.
This will be the first one I agree with you on so far this show, Mitch.
Sorry
From
about
just
that.
a pure eyeball test standpoint, Tennessee might have looked like the best team in the country last week. And I know opponents factor into that, whatever, but you're absolutely right. The offense and defense were both firing on all cylinders from the word go. I think that's going to be a little too much for NC State. I think NC State will hang around. I think this will be an entertaining game still in the third quarter, but Tennessee will probably pull away late.
Yeah, I hope this game is entertaining. That outcome would be great to see Tennessee, let it be a great game, and then Iamaleava have a statement moment, right? Lead a drive that you just go, there's the dagger. There it is right there. I think that would be really fun to watch. Obviously, it would mean that we got our picks right, too.
Gracious him. How about that?